pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello? Check 1, 2, 2. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our meeting for April 11th. Yeah, I don't know what they're on or off, but not my project. Can I have the meeting minutes from March 14th, 2022, please?
Minutes of the Maple Valley Township meeting, March 14th, 2022. Board members present: Schwant, Franson, Newell, Miller, and Benson. Absent, none. President opened with the pledge at 7 p.m. Reading of the minutes from February 14th, 2022. Motion by Newell, second by Franson to accept minutes. Motion passed. Treasurer's report, balance of $378,655.72 in the account, and COVID money $102,551.50. Motion by Franson, second by Newell to accept the treasurer's report. Motion passed. Additions to the agenda, none. Correspondence, none. County Commissioner report, Commissioner not present at the meeting. Planning Commission report, Chairman Roger Becker gave report on the following. Sound engineers have been canceled. Suggestions for COVID money, public hearing April 7th, 2022 at 7 p.m. for the wind ordinance. Requesting to have lawyer present at meeting public hearing. Motion by Franson, second by Newell to have the lawyer present at the Planning Commission public hearing. Motion passed. Zoning report, no permits. Assessor report, not present due to another board of review. Board of Review had organizational meeting. Protest meetings are March 16th, 2022, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and March 17th, 2022, 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. Community Center, no report. Fire Board, one vehicle fire. Old business, COVID money will be discussed at the budget hearing and annual meeting on March 26th, 2022 at 10 a.m. Budget will be discussed and approved at this meeting. Veterans Park, lawyers are still talking, looking at a trial date on May 27th at 8 a.m. New business, roof of the old fire station needs to be repaired from some wind damage. Bids from the Road Commission will be looked at when we have our budget hearing. Motion by Franson, second by Newell to do chloride application in 3 parts for $32,194.80. Motion passed. Motion by Newell, second by Franson to pay bills for check number 8927 to check number 8960 in the amount of $46,425.99, of which $33,824 was the fire contract. Motion passed. Public comment went from 7:12 p.m. to 7:31 p.m. Motion by Newell, second by Franson to adjourn. Motion passed. Meeting closed at 7:31 p.m. Respectfully submitted by Kathy Benson, Maple Valley Clerk.
Any corrections or additions and deletions? Now I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Support.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from March 14th, 2022. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Treasurer's report. June didn't make it in. There's $374,633.71 in the general fund and $102,553.24 in the COVID fund. She's working on a corrective action with the state for a date screw up in the computer system. So we will soon be getting your monthly reports. Her and the accountant are putting together a program to give us monthly reports for the corrective action for that. The date got put in the computer wrong, so they sent too much money to all the millages. And as soon as her and the accountant figured out that there was an error, they corrected it and got back with everybody, and they returned all the funds. So, effective tonight, June has appointed Mary Ann Schwant to be her deputy going forward. So with With that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Approve as presented.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the treasurer's report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Additions to the agenda, I just got a whole bunch of stuff under new business. We got somebody here from I Am Safe that wanted to talk to us real quick. Let her jump right in here real quick and then we'll go on the rest of the meeting.
I'm Lori Kirkhoff, the Executive Director for the Ionia-Montcalm Secure and Friendly Environment Child Advocacy Center. How many of you in this room have heard of us? If you have, raise your hand, please. Oh, wow, I'm hitting a big crowd then tonight. Okay. The I Am Safe Child Advocacy Center started in March of 2015. We take some help, that'd be great. And the purpose of our center is to work with children who are the ages of 2 to 17 years of age who have been sexually abused, severely physically abused, or human trafficked. And so what happens is law enforcement, CPS, if they get a call indicating that a child has reported some type of sexual or severe physical abuse, they contact us, and within 72 hours, we're scheduling an interview with them at our center. Used to be, I was a Chief Assistant Prosecutor of Ionia County. Used to be that children would be interviewed by law enforcement, then go to CPS and be interviewed, go to medical and be interviewed, then they come to the prosecutor's office and be interviewed. We were doing a huge disservice, and kids were coming to me, they were cutting, not getting the services they needed, couldn't go forward with court. We knew we had to change that, so the purpose of the center is to have a one-stop shop, basically, where kids come to our center, law enforcement, CPS, prosecutor all come on site. Child is interviewed in a proper manner with a person who's specially trained to do forensic interviews. They're done so in a room in which there is a closed circuit TV, so child doesn't know law enforcement and CPS are watching in the back, so that they're not traumatized again. We get one good interview out of that child. It is recorded, and then that recording can be used later in court. We're able then, right at the start on day one, once we do that interview with them, to get them medical, to get them mental health services. At our center, we have on-site mental health therapists, so they're able to do crisis intervention with them. A lot of times kids are still coming in and they're cutting as they're disclosing and things are happening, they're suicidal. So we're able to get them that intervention right away and do long-term counseling with them. Our partners for the I'm Safe CAC, which is a nonprofit, are the prosecutor's office from both counties, sheriff's departments from both counties, all law enforcement agencies from both counties. We also deal with Helen DeVos Children's Hospital. They do all of our medical exams. Anytime a child has skin-to-skin contact or penetration, we send them to Helen DeVos Children's Hospital for a full medical exam. We work with Community Mental Health in both counties, so Right Door for Recovery and Montcalm Care Network. They are the ones we're sending referrals to of those who can't come to our center. And then we also work with CASA, with RAVE. All of them are part of our multidisciplinary team. So after a kid is interviewed, once a month they come to our center, all those disciplinary team members, and we discuss that case from the beginning to the end to make sure there is nothing being missed. No one's fallen through the cracks like they were before. They're all getting the proper services they need. This makes for better criminal cases and more productive citizens down the road for us in our counties because these kids are getting the help that they need. So the center itself is a 501c3 nonprofit. We go strictly on donations and grants. That's how we get through. To service one child in our center is $1,250 per child. That gets them from the interview to the medical to the mental health services through the prosecution, everything they need from resources, if they need gas cards to get to the center, to get to court, food cards, things along that lines. So each county then, obviously, it can vary from county to county the cases, but it's pretty close. We, as far as how we're serving them, there are 1,803 children thus far since we opened our doors in 2015 of March that have come through our center. That's over 1,803 children who have been sexually abused, severely physically abused, or human trafficked. It's split right down the road from Montcalm and Ionia County. It's very even, so both counties are doing about the same numbers every year. For this specific county, we have had 20 cases that have come into our center since 2015. That's 20 kids from your township specifically. We keep track of those for us for every township as well. We go out to each township now. We're asking everyone to help us spread the word about our services, even though we've been in place since 2015. We're not surprised when people haven't heard of us. If you haven't come to us for sexual abuse, you don't know that we exist. But if you know of someone, a child that is reporting sexual abuse, severe physical abuse, now you know what our center is, where it is. We're located on Fenwick Road, right in Fenwick here in Montcalm County. And so we ask that you help us spread the word about what we do with the services, that you help us with the fundraising aspect and participate with us in our fundraisers. We have a 3-a-year. We have a golf outing that happens in August. We have a Champions for Children luncheon, which is coming up on April 28th. Everybody's invited, it's free of charge. And then we also have our Start by Believing, reverse raffle, and dinner, which is in February. I passed out cards to you today. We have a website. You can check us out further. We have a Facebook page as well. You can follow us and see the activities that occur. We're asking townships not only to help us spread the word, but to consider using funds to help pay for the cost of the center as well for the children that are serviced there. It has varied across the counties as far as how much townships do. We've had some that have done 1,500, some that have done 3,000. We were fortunate recently to have Montcalm County, their board township, donate $50,000 to the I'm Safe CAC with the recent funds that have been made available to them for ARPA. And we ask that you consider giving funds too. This is going to be an ongoing service that we'll continue to offer. It's not going away. If anything, we see more reports now that we're out there seeing more education done. That's the other thing we started up this last year was a prevention program. So we go for K through 4th grade. We teach body safety. Kids know who their safe adults are, who they can report to, and then what are good touches, bad touches, so to speak. And so as we get kids more educated, we're seeing more reporting happening as well. And so it's not something that's going to go away anytime soon. Our latest employee that we hired too, we have 8 full-time employees and 1 part-time, but our latest is Alfred, our canine advocate. If you've ever seen on Facebook, he's our latest dog. He's a therapy dog. He went through the Leader Dog for the Blind program, and he unfortunately failed out of the program. I don't let him hear that. He pulled a little too hard when he'd seen other dogs, and so he wasn't going to be a good person for Leader Dog of the Blind, but he's perfect to work with children. He's great to calm their nerves. When they come into the center, it's the first person they see. They get to pet him until they go back and do their interview. So he's our latest addition to our CAC as well, and you'll see more about him on the Facebook. So we get our funding, as I said, our big one is from a grant, VOCA, and that's a federal funding that gives us $411,000, which covers most of the salaries. The unfortunate part is, as you all know, with grants, they come with strings, and so we're required to come up with 20% of that grant every year as a match. And so that's why we have to continue to do the fundraising to come up to close to $80-some thousand a year to continue those services. So that's why our fundraisers are important, and we ask you to get involved in any way, volunteering or with donations. So if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to take them, but I know you've got a big agenda too. And I can go on forever. So thank you.
All right, moving on, report from County Commissioner Kathy.
Hello, so nice to finally meet you. I'm so sorry I haven't been here before. I had absolutely no idea how busy I would be as a commissioner, and I'm glad to be here. My goal for you is just to help you get the services that you need, the funds that you need. I'm meeting with John and Kathy afterwards, and we'll talk about those, but you can always contact me through the website, the Commissioner website, Montcalm County. But I'm looking forward to speaking with you and get the ball rolling. So if you have questions afterwards, we'll talk. Sound good?
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just so you know, right, we're still allocating the ARPA funds. So don't forget, if you've got roads that need to be fixed, make sure you let us know. I'm sure you don't. But I'm also on the Commission on Aging Board. I work with SUDAC for any type of problems with drugs that you might have or know of. So a great start. So I'd be glad to answer any questions and see what I can do to help.
Start an application in for the $50,000 for our playground equipment for your.
You sent that in?
Yeah.
Very good. That's a good one, so. All right, I'll be looking for that.
Appreciate it.
I'll talk to you.
Great,
Thank
thanks.
you.
All right, Planning Commissioner Roger.
Yeah, we did our public notification on the ordinance and that, we have our comment from the public. We have a lot of comments from the public, and we have a lot of comments from the public. So, we have a lot of comments, and we have a lot of comments. So, 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 we have a lot of comments. So passed that off, we passed the ordinance, so that's on its way to the county planning commission. Also, I sent you an email from ADD, the fee for when we have started that sounding there. So if we can get that to, their side, what we've done.
So did they give you a report or something then, or what was the?
There was really not so much a report, just that I had sent everything to them, they were going over everything. And then we stopped it right there, so we didn't have much time to do much, but they did work on it, so it's on the bill.
Okay.
Other than that, we're just, waiting for county planning action on the ordinance we sent over, but we did pass it, so.
Anything else?
That should be
Thanks. Zoning administrator, Dave.
Month of March, there were two permits issued. One was at 1684 West Kingsville Road. That was for a pole barn. And there is a three-season porch put in on 4765 Village Road. That's it.
All right, thank you. Report from assessor, Michael.
Yep. So the big activity in March is, of course, March quarter review. And it was historically really light this year. We had 8 veterans exemptions that were approved. And for those of you that don't know, disabled veterans, if they meet certain criteria, are eligible to be get an exemption from all of their ad valorem property taxes. So again, we approved 8 of those at March Board Review. And then, aside from that, we only had 3 petitioners to the March Board Review this year, so it was really light. So happy to see that, you know, people are it's not only an indication of the assessments being okay, but it's an indication that, what I've learned over the years, that people are doing well. You know, things are, economy-wise, are doing okay. You know, maybe everything's not great for everybody, but it's definitely an indicator that things are going well in Maple Valley Township for people. So very happy to see that.
Great, thank you. Report from community center. They had 1 rental, but then they backed out, so we had nothing. Let's talk about, we got Keith's Roofing coming to replace the roof on the old fire station back here. The insurance company covered that. Other than we got like $250 deductible. So once they get the roof done, then they're gonna we'll come back inside and look and see what damage has been done in there from the water damage and stuff before it gets all fixed. So that'll all be taken care of. So Peterson Oil, or Peterson Propane, has been sold out to another company, I guess. They send a delivery guy out. He went to the tank over here at the fire station, not realizing that we have another tank back here for the office building. So he was out 3 times this winter, said they haven't even used any propane all winter. So after I got a hold of them, Leonard's come over Friday, checked on the furnace, said, no, you're out of propane. So I called them up Saturday, they were gonna come deliver today. The guy came today, said, no, your tank is full, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, no, it's not. So he came back out and filled it up, so we were fortunate to get a little heat in here before the meeting tonight. So I think we got it all figured out now.
So the tank is behind the building? Behind this building?
Yeah, there's a tank back here, and then there's a tank for the fire station both.
Oh,
And they didn't, yeah, so. Anyway, we should run out of propane now. Knock on some kind of wood here somewhere. So, all right, fire board, Ben.
There were 2 calls in Maple Valley. One was a grass fire and one was a vehicle accident. And we're hopefully going to be getting the tender chassis by the end of the month or beginning of May. Hopefully still.
Supposed to be built, hopefully end of the month.
Built?
Right, well,
The chassis.
the chassis is
Yeah,
supposed to be built.
and then everything else added to it, probably a couple more months.
Yeah, All right, thank you, sir. Old business, COVID money. So I passed out to the board a, bidding conflict of interest policy that we have to approve as part of our ARPA funds. Basically, it says that, it's a conflict of interest policy for anybody that wants to do business for us while we're using the ARPA fundage. So we have to approve that tonight as part of our requirements for ARPA. So I'd entertain a motion to approve that.
All motion.
Of course.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Maple Valley Township Federal Procurement Conflict of Interest Policy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. All right, so with that said, I also got a letter from the Muskellunge Lake Association. They're asking for $800 to $1,000 of our ARPA money to be used for new buoys out in the middle of the lake where the sunken island's at. That those are all gotten bad over the last few years, and they would want to know if we would look into that project, so I told them I would add it to our list of ARPA projects. I figured that'd be a good one to add into the list. So that will be, they're gonna come up and get a quote for us, and we'll add that to the ARPA money. While we're talking about ARPA, what else will I do, something else? No. I guess that's it for right now with the ARPA money. I did another seminary on it, but I've given up on the state on listening to their seminaries because they don't tell you anything except for this is what we did. So I'm working with Todd Lincoln, and he's helping me get all of our year-end reporting all done for the end of March or end of April, because that's their reporting time. And then May 1st is our start of the new cycle. So we won't spend anything in April, but you still have to do all the reports. So, Veterans Park, they're still talking possibly a court date in May for that, so that's kind of up in the air. Wind ordinance, Roger talked about that, it's been sent to the county, planning. So, new business, we have to have a short little meeting real quick to elect election workers. Kathy, I'll let you. So, okay, so I'll entertain a motion to suspend our monthly meeting to go into the election commission meeting.
Make a motion to suspend the meeting.
Is there a second? There's been moved and seconded, all in favor say aye. Aye. And opposed, motion passed. All right, so Kathy, you want to get the minutes of the last election commission meeting?
July 13th, 2020, election commission members Larson, Miller, and Sanders met to review election workers' pay scale and anything else needing to be discussed about this upcoming election. Motion, Larson, second, Miller, to open the election commission meeting at 6:45. Motion passed. Election inspectors for the primary and general election to be held on August 4th, 2020, and general election on November 3rd, 2020. Precinct 1, Maple Valley, Township, Coral, Montcalm County. Precinct number 1, Mary Roush, Chair, Vanetta Musser, Kathy Benson, Marie Wilson, Connie Guthrie, Nancy Orvis, Laura Benson, and Shirley Sanders are the workers scheduled for the upcoming elections. Their pay is $12 for chairperson, $11 for election inspection workers. This is calculated by the hour. All have received training for election inspector work from Montcalm County Clerk. Motion, Miller, second, Larson, to approve election workers listed above and pay scale as presented. Motion passed. Motion, Miller, second, Larson, to adjourn at 6:50 p.m. Motion passed. Sincerely, Shirley Sanders, Maple Valley Township Clerk.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
All motion.
Support.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Any old business?
Why did it say Shirley Sanders?
All right, new business. Election inspector for May 2nd, 2022 school election. Precinct 1.
Mary Roush, Chair, Vanetta Musser, Kathy, oh, not me, Marie Wilson, Connie Guthrie, Laura Benson, and Shirley Sanders.
All right, we need a motion to approve that. We need a motion to approve that list.
I'll approve it. Support.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the list of election inspectors. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Workers' pay training.
The pay is still the same, $12 for chairperson and $11 for election inspection workers, and calculated by the hour, and they all have received training for election inspector from Montcalm County Clerk.
All right, I guess we got a quick public comment.
I would say the wage seems, I'm sorry. I
Go
just
ahead.
speak. The wage seems quite low for what you're expecting these workers to do, to go through all that training, to be there for those hours, especially the one day, is that a 13-hour day? Are we paying time and a half over 8? I just don't think that's a really respectable wage for what we're asking these folks to do. What is a respectable wage? I don't know, but it seems low.
I've read on MTA where I believe the chairman was, it depended on the township, but the chairmans were getting between 15 and 20 an hour, and the others were getting anywhere from 12 to 17 an hour.
Part of that's in our budget too, so that's something that we probably would look at for our next budget calendar year. Going forward, I would guess, right?
Yeah, I think we should leave it the same.
So, we'll do it for this one, and then we can look forward and put it into our next budget for next year. Any other public comment?
I just have a question. Did you say that voting is on May 2nd?
It's May 3rd.
Oops, yes, we're correct that, sorry, thank you. May 3rd, yep. Any other public comment? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion to adjourn.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn the election commission meeting and return back to our regular meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Welcome back to our next meeting, or other meeting. So we did the IMC, the elections. May 30th, 2022 is Memorial Day, 11 o'clock. I've talked to Val Gates, and she is going to put together a program again like she did last year. I'm working with her. She's got the minister lined up, and she's got her, I believe it's her grandkids. Is that right, Dan? Is that, or how? All the, she had 25 little kids that were just cute as heck singing for us. So, and I'm gonna see if I can get with the VFW to get them there again this year if they're back doing those kinds of events. So, put that in your calendar. May 30th, 22 at 11 a.m. at Coral Cemetery, and we'll go from there. MML contract. We need to. They did. So it's all through Lakeview now. I believe they merged Lakeview and 6 lakes in Howard City, I think, all under one. So I told her I would try to get a hold of them and see what we could get for that day. We need to approve our new MML, which is our insurance company's policy for the next year. Remember what the premium was in here? I think it's the same as last year, pretty much. Annual premium of $5,629. So they seem to take pretty good care of us, so. I didn't have to link with them at all. I got Keith to send us a report, or a repair estimate, and they sent it into the insurance, and they said, all right, get her done, and we've already got the check for her, waiting for Keith when they get the work done, so. So I'll entertain a motion to approve our new contract with the MML.
Support.
Right.
Then move to second to approve our MML policy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. All right, and I've talked about the roof. Flag pole for in here, to get something to update that thing a little bit. I've been looking online, I can find them for like $75, and they'll come with a new flag.
That's new.
That's new, I say, that's different.
We were donated that.
Oh, really?
No need for a new flag now.
No. I say, I look over and it looks different, so. No more zip ties. All right.
But maybe we,
Well, then we won't worry about that. Thank you for the donation, whoever
we
it
could
came
get something
from.
besides a dish pan. to
So-
put it in.
Huh?
We'll let them know.
All right, thank you. And let's see, the last thing I got on my list is I talked to, the trash company, Pearson. What, Republic, yeah. I talked to them and he's getting me some quotes back, looking like trying to get a end of May or 1st of June cleanup day going. So I will have more for that here coming shortly. Other than that, we'll go to the reading of the bills, check number 8961 through 8977 in the amount of $8,805.66. Mowing contracts? Yep, they're all taken care of and same old, same old. So, right, you want to do the checks real quick and then we'll do your code here, okay. So, I'll entertain a motion to approve the paying of the bills.
Motion. Support.
Then moved and seconded to approve paying the bills in the amount of $8,805.66. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passed. Kathy?
Last year's budget needs to be amended because, the Board of Review had training that we didn't budget for. And, sanitation services was a little bit more, and the fire bill I paid in the wrong year, so we have to adjust the budget so it balances from last year.
So, was that your motion?
We need a motion.
That was your motion? You got a motion to make the adjustments to the amendment, or to the budget?
I'll support it.
Then moved and seconded to approve the adjustments to the budget. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. I did get an email, and what did I do about this? Andy had some questions about some stuff. So, the 250s is a set fee that comes from the schools for collecting taxes for them.
Yep.
So, when there's taxes to be collected, they pay us that.
What
I
are
talked about
Andy's,
June's corrective action.
Over here. what are the questions?
I'm giving all the answers to her right now for them.
I know, but I wondered what the questions
She asked
were.
about the 250 set money at the annual meeting.
Okay, I didn't know what the
Yeah,
questions were. You were
sorry.
giving answers to something I didn't know what the
So,
question was.
yes. So she was actually asking about the set money for the 250. So that's what that was.
I was also asking, did she give you what it was in 2021?
I didn't look it up. No, or she didn't,
Because
no.
that's what I asked, because in last year's budget, it was a 0 item. That's why I was asking about that.
So it must be there wasn't, I don't know how all that, like I said, I didn't know how to explain that, and I thought you would be here to explain it, so, I can tell you what I found out so far.
Okay.
Like I said, I talked about the corrective action measures because of the screw up with the date in the computer when it got put in there. And when they did the audit, that money was for the fire department money. You were asking about the extra money with that. That was the final payment of the fire bud buy-in to the fire district. Going forward, the millage was $66,326 is what we paid. We pay 1 mil of millage. The last year's was $66,326.
So what you're speaking of is the 250,000, where we
Right,
had
that was the second
Okay.
payment to the buy-in to the fire district.
Okay, so that was our buy-in?
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
And so from now on, then it will just be the
1
the
mil.
mill that we did.
1
then.
mil, yeah.
Okay.
So this
that's-
year's mill is 71,000, 74,000? Something like that. So that's what each township that's a member of the fire association pays in 1 mil as operating expenses. So we're getting the benefit of a 5 mil fire department for the price of 1, basically. And that was all the answers I had for you going forward right now.
Okay, so on page 27 where we had the budgetary compensation schedule for, under public safety, where there was nothing budgeted, but then there was a $70,045 expense from it. Was that,
That would have been the fee and the paying of the mill.
okay, so that was the
Because
mill?
last year's prices were higher, because the
Okay.
mills keep going up, because values keep going up.
Mill and fire, okay.
That's what I got you so far, so. All right, any other items of interest from anyone?
There'll be a public test of the voting equipment on April 18th at 9 a.m. at the office.
Okay. And that's just a thing they do every time before election. Any other items of interest from the board? If not, we'll open up to our 3 minutes per person of public comment. Is there any public comment? Yes, ma'am.
Who writes the agenda for the board meeting?
Between Kathy and I, we do.
Okay, why did Kyle write the one for the planning commission when we pay him $3.95 an hour? Why did Kyle write the agenda for the planning commission last month?
To make sure it goes through the process correctly. He didn't write it for us, we walked through it together.
Okay, well, he came with it in his briefcase, pulled it out, he printed it, so eyes look like he printed the agenda, or made the agenda, and I was just curious if Kathy doesn't now, why?
That was between Roger, myself, and Kyle, to make sure everything was done in there properly.
And it was at the budget meeting, excuse me, said that the bus garage will be going up for sale. Have you contacted a realtor? Have you got anything going with a June 1st?
Yeah, sorry, it's only been 2 weeks, I haven't.
I realize that, but I mean, it's a phone call and it's
Yes.
June 1st is the set date, so
We will have you some information by then,
by June 1st or before that, so that it's up for sale.
we'll see.
Okay, and is when I went yesterday, the electric and everything's still on at the old Cub Scout building. When is that gonna be taken out of our name? When is that gonna be taken care of? It's been months ago that he bought that for what he offered, and I'd like that to be considered when the bus garage is going up too. So how long are we gonna continue paying for the old Cub Scout building that we don't
There is
own?
no electric or gas service there. It's there, connected to the building, but there's nothing being paid at all.
But you don't pay a service fee just for it being connected like you do on a home?
Nope. And
Okay,
that's where we're having some issues, because I'm trying to get them to figure out what the number is to get it disconnected, so
how long before that's gonna be removed then?
hopefully soon. He's ready to start tearing it apart, so.
Okay, and if Kathy's not doing business hours, I see her and Ann were there this morning, is that business hours back in now? Cause her and Ann were there from 8 to 10 today?
I'll do business hours by appointment.
Okay, well, it says on there business hours are suspended, so. And my FOIA, I was charged for I got a lot of stuff in that FOIA that Elizabeth Waldron requested, not that I requested. So that FOIA fee that I paid, I think money should be being refunded, because the stuff that Kyle gave me, cause you guys didn't do the FOIA, was stuff Elizabeth Waldron asked for, not stuff I asked for. I have an email like this that I printed off of the stuff he gave me, and it wasn't what I asked for, it was what Elizabeth asked for, and she said she didn't want it because she wasn't paying the money. So I was severely overcharged on that FOIA, and I would like that looked into and some money back for that, because I paid a lot of money for my FOIA for what I didn't ask for.
There's an appeal process sent to you in the email.
Oh, so you guys just go through Kyle for $3.95 an hour some more. Okay, thank
Anything
you.
else? Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, Walton, Maple Valley Township. Does this township have a blight ordinance?
No, it's run through the county now.
How do we get that taken care of?
Call the sheriff's office.
No, who enforces the blight ordinance?
The sheriff's
department?
office.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Anybody else?
A few months back, we did a survey thing. Did that go anywhere? Is it dead somewhere? Whatever.
I know we talked about one, but we never,
township.
Was that the ones that were supposed to be mailed out?
Yeah, they were
Yeah, we
presented to the
never-
board a few months ago.
So, yeah,
That went to the board for review or approval or something.
I was given a copy of it at one point, but I guess I didn't know any more about it since then. Does the planning commission want to go forward with that? I guess that was something they need to propose to us, so.
Well, I think that's what it was. I think it was sent to the board for review and approval or something, but.
So, okay, I guess we'll check into it.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Cheryl Hauser, Maple Valley. I don't know, John, if you remember way back, I talked about planting some trees in memory of Mike and Mark Peterson once the Boy Scout
Yep.
building was taken down, so just a reminder,
It's still on the agenda.
if people still wanna do that, okay.
I also got a letter from the Peterson family about donating the park to the township instead of leasing it, just to turn it over to us, and then we wouldn't have to worry about the lease ever going forward again, so that's something that Ann and I are gonna work on to get that all taken care of, so that'll be finalized. So, any other public comment? Yes, ma'am.
To follow up on my email, can I get the actual versus budget report for the fiscal 2022 year?
As
Since
soon
I'm,
as it's prepared, yes.
okay. And then my other question is
You can put that on the website. That'll be on the website.
okay, that one will be, and then I guess my follow-up about this is about the 22-23 proposed budget, because in there we have the SET under 446 of general revenue. It is proposed that we're gonna get $12,000 into that account. And June provided me with the number of parcels, and the maximum number of money that we're gonna get is $3,495. So I'm just wondering if there's gonna be a budget amendment for that, because, I mean, we can't triple it. We can only take that once. So I'm trying to figure out where that $12,000 number magically came from in the budget showing income.
That should've came from June, so.
So, and that's why I'm asking, is because what she gave me and what's there are vastly different. And that was part of my questioning of why that was, because knowing that there was no way that it could even ever be possible
Yep.
to have that much in there. And that's why I was asking, what it was in 2021. And I don't know what this 1398, if it was for last year or if it was for this year, because I know that qualifying properties can change.
Right.
I'll
get with her and see what I can figure that
And
out
I guess that's my question, is because, I mean, we don't have a lot of money coming into the township, so having something in the budget that says we're gonna have $12,000 worth of income, but only get $3,495.
Average year, so that's why that's numbers in there, so
Well,
that's weird.
like I said, in last year's budget, it was 0. So that's why I'm questioning,
There was no
because
school elections last year either, so that might be part of there was no
it
money.
should be I guess from my understanding, when I've spoken to other treasurers in the other townships, they said that it's something that happens every year, that it comes off of our property taxes, that's our portion of it. I guess that's the biggest thing is, and do we have a bidding policy in place?
That's what we just voted on.
Well, that was the conflict of interest for the federal.
Oh, a bidding process?
A bidding process, so if, when we're getting ready to do all this work, do we have a process for people to put bids in so that you guys can, as a board, review them, and so it's a fair process?
Probably something we need to look into.
Okay, that was part of my thing about that, and if anyone's questioning about the questions that I sent in, please feel free to get with me. They were all, because I went under the Michigan Department of Treasury, it's open to anybody, and I was looking at the financial report and statement, the audit that we had in 2021, and that's where the questions that I had sent to the board a week ago, asking several different things, because they were all based on stuff from the CPA's office.
Thank you. Anyone else? That I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Then move second to adjourn, and all in favor say aye. Aye. See you next month.
That isn't like 2 little peas in a pod.
Where did you have fun in Florida?
He didn't go.
He didn't go?
Hey, couldn't stay at home.
Rose vacation? He did yard work.
My husband's got a
Great.
So I can do